Terry had reached one goal. He set a new record. But his beloved homemade rocket had been reduced to scrap metal. Time to think about giving up? No. Time to think about going even faster.
I would like to just scare the competition away long enough for me to just kind of sit there on that throne for a few years. And I don't believe my current speed record can do that for me. So I decided I would really like to achieve 200 miles per hour.
You're taking an ATV that was designed to maybe go 65 miles an hour, and you take it that fast. That's a whole different world.
200, it's a number that it's just unheard of with an ATV.
I was thinking, wow, that's a lot faster than your last one. How are you going to do that?
If he's determined, I'm sure he'll figure out a way.
I don't know if it's possible.
200 is probably going to be the last one. I don't think he could beat that.
Terry's rocket is now out of commission. It exploded after his last attempt. He needs to find out why.
The fuel cell probably had a hot spot, burned at a faster rate along the sidewall. What we're seeing is the remnants of the PVC fuel cell that looks like it just came apart in all kinds of catastrophic ways, which then causes things like this. This thing could have been a very catastrophic explosion.
Terry takes the wreckage back to the man who hand-built it, Ray Greenleaf, fully expecting the damaged rocket would be a complete write-off.
I can repair that. The nozzle is what I'm interested in.
Not only can Ray restore the rocket to its former power, Terry has spent a bit of his spare time coming up with some cunning modifications.
Because what I was thinking was instead of using the casing, leave it off, compress the PVC, just on its own, and that way I can actually see what's going on.
Now it'll be another challenge to get this thing back rolling again.
Given his determination, it seems only a matter of time before Terry comes up with a bike that could reach 200 miles per hour. But then, help arrives from an unexpected part of the world, Sweden's Dahlback Racing.
Dahlback Racing is a large, high-tech corporation in Sweden that builds very fast motors for cars. Dahlback Racing came along and they had some very innovative ideas about building a high-speed ATV.
Dahlback Racing had heard of Terry's records and were so impressed, they wanted to be involved in his next attempt. Soon, Terry was talking with one of their top engineers.
And he came up with a turbo system for the single-cylinder Raptor motor that created the power that we would need to turn the gears that we needed to turn to achieve 200 miles per hour. We have yet to test it, but we're kind of curious on what it does.
The turbocharged single-cylinder engine powers the ATV to speeds it was never designed to achieve. Wind resistance becomes a factor to consider.
It has components that are sticking out in the airstream. So it's one thing to produce additional horsepower, it's another thing though to create obstacles in the airstream. So we've taken his design and had to do some creative installations.
With a new turbo and modified body, it's now time to test the ATV. Terry calls on the team's top test pilot, his daughter Natalie.
Well, right now we're testing, overall the effectiveness of the turbo. It's nice to do on a sand environment because you have a real natural load on the drivetrain. Pretty good. She outpulled all the big bikes out there. Right now it seems to be doing okay, except in the upper RPM range, seem to be having some issues with the fuel mapping. Okay, leave it in fourth and just wrap the throttle out. The turbo is working pretty flawlessly, but what it is as the RPMs are coming up, you start to hear that popping, and typically what that means is the turbo is delivering more air and not enough gas.
It kind of was a problem from the get-go when we put it on there, but my genius rocket father, you know, figured that stuff out.
As the day goes on, more problems are revealed.
While we're doing the tree shoots over there, it was clicking like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, and seeing the chain's not loose, it's not getting sloppy, we're just losing the sprocket. You're putting so much power to the back that it's actually spinning the axle carrier. Chain's getting loose. When the bike's under load, it tends to squat. The problem is when it's squatting, the chain's getting sloppy, and as a result of that, we're starting to bend the teeth on the rear sprocket. And you know, the geometry of a swing arm, it shouldn't do that. As this thing squats, if anything, the chain should get a little bit tighter. You know, it's times like this that I wish I had some of the drag race guys out here with me. We have another 14 or a crescent in there?
You have the 14 still, I think.
Crap, I didn't drop it in the sand, did I?
I might not know terminology of everything like that, you know, just,
Oh,
but
crap.
you give me something to do hands-on and pretty sure I could do it.
Terry needs to compare his swing arm with that of an unmodified passing ATV. He calls on a nearby enthusiast.
Look, Natalie.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was welded in the wrong spot. What we need to do now is pull the swing arm off and have the axle carrier re-welded in a different location.
And so, once again, it's back to the workshop for Terry and the ATV.